few minutes, the lights surrounding the rivers of America will be dimmed.
Hi, this is Bill Rogers, the voice of Disney, and you're listening to Sorcerer Radio.
We're back on the show, Kristen and Aljon here, and we are back with the Disney list. This week, Kristen, what is your topic? You've thought about this topic long and hard.
I have, and it is 5 Disney celebrities that you would want to be quarantined with. And I have done a lot of thought on this. I really have, because that is a long period of time to be with people. It is.
It is a long period of time. And a couple of people we're just really wanting, let me adjust this. We're really wanting to make sure that people understand these are going to be living celebrities.
Yes, they have to be alive.
They have to be alive. So
no Walt.
No Walt. No George Lucas. Oh, wait, no.
Wait, George Lucas is still alive. No Stan Lee.
No Stan Lee. Oops.
Woo, ouch.
Hey, wait a minute. Yeah. I think my allergy medicine's getting to me. Stand by. Okay, go ahead. No, filibuster for a little bit.
Yes, they have to be alive. So you can't have Stan Lee. You can't have Walt Disney. You can't have Jim Henson or Mr. Apple Guy. I'm drawing a blank on his name. Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs. Ooh, we're in rare form today. We're in rare form. Okay. So we have a Disney list here, and Kristen's going to go first. I'm going to go next because I've got a bunch of these cool little clips that we can play. So Kristen, give me somebody.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to go with the least famous person on my list.
Okay.
To the average Disney fan, and that is going to be Chef Christine Weissman. And she is an executive chef at Disney over at Wilderness Lodge. And she's the one who created the new menus for the restaurants there and was behind the phenomenal menu that is over at Artist Point now for Snow White's, the Snow White dinner they do there.
Okay. And once again, it could be from the parks, Marvel or Star Wars or, what have you. So here we have a little clip here about Christine.
Disney at that time. As an executive chef in my multiple roles from my background, I oversee the food and beverage locations, diverse food and beverage locations from table service, signature dining, lounges. I also participate in tenant planning and career development. And right recently, I'm also doing a lot of concept development within our resort as well. Talent planning, as we are growing very much within the company, and in my past also Disney Cruise Line, we're always looking for new talented chefs, hourly cast members and salary cast members. And to give opportunities within our occupation to different resorts and level and career development. Most magical memory is, I have many, but I think the recent one was when I received our Legacy Reward, which I received in 2015 after I had spent 3 years in Disneyland in California as the executive chef. And then I was very surprised when I received the Legacy Award. It is special because actually fellow cast members nominated.
I do. So when she was executive chef out in Disneyland at the 2015 D23 Expo, she was there and did a presentation at the same stage, the same time slot as Joey Fatone.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Nice. Go ahead.
So I ended up seeing her there, but I've met her a couple of times, and she's super cool, and her food is amazing. I would love to go and have dinner at her house, but I think she would be, think about it. Quarantine, you're inside for a long time. You're going to need to eat. And what is important to somebody like myself? Food and drink. And I know her food is amazing. Yes. So yeah, that's why I put her on my list, because she'd be interesting to talk to because she has worked at various Disney parks. She's originally from Germany, so she's from my family's home country. But I just think between the food, she'd be interesting to talk to. I mean, that's just, somebody that I think I definitely would want at mine.
Okay. Well, no, she's great. She's awesome. So who is next on your list?
Oh, we're going. I get to do. Am I doing two?
Well, I mean,
and then you doing two? Or are we going to go back?
No.
and forth?
Well, I'm okay. I can go ahead and do one.
You're blinding me with.
I can't help myself. That light fell down. This is live, baby. How about I go? I can go. This one's going to be easy. I think this is a layup for a lot of people. You and I recently had read Bob Iger's book. And I think Bob's the best. I think he's great.
We had smart. It read to us.
Yes, on our commute to Walt Disney World, and it was awesome. And I think if we're going to spend some time and Bob Iger is going to be hanging out, I want to learn from him because there's so many decisions that need to be made that affect so many people's lives. And so many decisions that affect pop culture and people's fandom and different things like that. But, to learn from someone like that has that wealth of information, that has the skills of working with a tremendous, huge groups of people, shareholders and creative minds and different people like that. I think he's got a great mentality for that. And I really have found I've always respected him as a person, but after reading the book, because you're learning about the leadership and exercises and different things that he's trying to pass on to you in this book. I think it's super cool. So here's a little clip of Bob Iger here.
Well, I think it begins with being bold. This world today is so unpredictable and moving so fast. Baby steps don't work.
Perhaps his boldest move yet, launching Disney Plus this November, which means pulling blockbusters like The Avengers and Star Wars off other streaming services.
You're taking losses on the licensing fees side in order to assure the future. Is Disney late to the game? And how do you take on Netflix?
Well, we're not late to the game because the game's still going on. We're not really taking on Netflix because we're bringing Disney out, and the Disney includes Disney and Pixar and Marvel and Star Wars and National Geographic.
And yet when people look at their monthly bills, how many streaming services is a person going to pay for?
Well, I think there's room for people to buy multiple services, and I think they will. We're entering a very, very robust marketplace.
It's a media marketplace Iger has mastered over decades. But first, he had to ditch this dream.
Good evening. I'm Bob Iger.
You started as a weatherman.
Yes.
I managed to dig up this fabulous photo of you from
that looks hilarious, him being a weatherman back in the day. But Nicole's actually, I'm using Quarantine to finish his book too. Yes. Great book, great read. By the way, you can check that out on our store link too on our show notes. But Bob is great. And I know a lot of people, I've actually have some friends from different communities, whether it be Marvel or Star Wars, that are like singular about Star Wars or singular about Marvel or whatever. And they're like, enough about Bob Iger. He gave George Lucas the shaft and blah, 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 yada, 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 yada. I'm like, hey, look, you don't know all the stuff that goes on in between and behind closed doors. All you know is like, because someone had asked him, what else is Disney going to buy while Bob Iger is going to be there? Is he going to buy this? Is he going to buy that? I said, well, what's wrong with a company? It's not getting to the point where it's a monopoly, but it's getting super huge.
Oh yeah.
But
it's an empire.
Yeah. But if I'm a shareholder, I'm like, okay, cool. Awesome. I'm going to get my return on investment.
I'm happy. You're happy.
Are you happy that I'm happy? Was that? Oh, that was my Google.
Every Sunday you have a surprise, like your phone, either that or Alexa starts talking just randomly.
Don't do it. It's right here. Oh, don't get the devices triggered because I will.
Okay.
Lindsay, what does Lindsay say in the chat?
She says Bob is right because she has almost all of the streaming services and it's still cheaper than regular cable.
Bingo. Bingo. Absolutely. Well, we've got quite a few ourselves. And I think as long as the service provides the value that you want out of being a consumer, buy it. If it does it make you happy? I mean, that's the bottom line, right? If it comes to the point where it's cost prohibitive, like going to the parks, it's like being an annual pass holder. Do you find value in being an annual pass holder? If so, great. And if you don't,
there's something else
There's
there
something
for
else
you.
for you. Go to Universal. Ooh, did I say that? Wow.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with Universal.
No, there is nothing
They
wrong with
have
Universal.
Harry Potter.
There's nothing wrong with that. All right, Kristen, who's next on your list? Once
Okay,
again, if
so-
you're being quarantined with a Disney celebrity that's alive, okay, who would they be in your top 5?
Okay, so another thing that's important to me in quarantine is that I'm entertained. I want to be entertained and around likable, friendly, fun people. And I picked D. Bradley Baker, who is an amazing voice artist. And not just that, but he does like sounds for animals. And to me, that is the most amazing thing. And I've met him during Star Wars weekends. And then when we were at Celebration in Orlando the one time, we were sitting up and I kept hearing this person making this cricket sound. And it was, I thought it was somebody's phone just
It was
trying.
sitting right
You
next
could,
to
but
us.
you could tell that it was to intentionally kind of annoy Dave Filoni,
Yes.
you know, to kind of like get at him. And I said something to Aljon. He was like, you're 2 seats over from D. And I was like, he's the cricket. I mean, it was
cricket
spot on cricket sound. I was like, okay. But he's fun. He's so nice when you meet him.
He's the
and
best.
he'll like really spend time talking to you, because I've gone through his meet and greet line twice. Because he is so nice and friendly, and he'll talk to you about, you know, he'll ask you, you know, so who's your favorite character, or that kind of stuff. And I told him, I was like, I'm a huge Perry the Platypus fan. So
oh yes,
that's where that started. But he does numerous voices for Star Wars, the Clone Wars. But he is fantastic.
He's the voice of every clone. And while I get situated, let me play you this clip here.
They cloned him.
They cloned him
with the Clone Wars. And this was the culmination of his Star Wars storytelling. So it all fits together as a piece, and it even retroactively it really beautifully augments what came together in the prequels as well. So that I mean, personally, I like the prequels even better because of what was brought out in the Clone Wars in terms
it
of
informs it a lot better. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, the personalities and the stakes that were involved. The television format, I think, really lends itself to the economy of the storytelling and the upping of the stakes and the fun and just the movement of it. And I think that gets back to the inspiration of what Star Wars originally was, which were these old serials that was quick, down and dirty storytelling that really moved.
You voiced Captain Rex,
Yes,
and
sir.
a whole slew of clone troopers.
Lots of clones.
I'm assuming you're going to voice all those voices again in the new season.
Oh, yes, sir.
That's coming up.
Yes.
Is there one character in the Star Wars universe you haven't voiced yet that you want to take a shot at in this next season?
I really like doing the weird stuff, and I would love to do more aliens. I'd love to do more aliens that require subtitles. I ever since Greedo, I just love the subtitles, and so
we love D. D's the best.
See, he likes weird stuff. I love weird stuff.
Well, okay. Speaking of weird stuff, Eric Allen in the chat, the another Source of Radio DJ host, God love him, also says Perry. Perry. So we love Perry the Platypus. And so here's something interesting. When we did Star Wars Weekends years ago, when Star Wars Weekends was a thing over at Disney Hollywood Studios, I interviewed him, and that's the lost interview because it mysteriously vanished from my memory card, and I cannot find it. And he was the best. Him, and I think we were good. We were in line to do James Arnold Taylor, but we couldn't for whatever reason. He had to mosey on down the road. But the interview I had with D was basically this interview that Sci-Fi Wire had posted, talking about the new season of Star Wars, The Clone Wars on Disney Plus, that we definitely recommend, especially this past week. Oh my gosh, the best stuff ever. But he's super nice. Super nice. Did you have anything else you wanted to add about D?
Nope. No, he's just awesome.
He is awesome. One of the other people, if I was to be quarantined with a Disney, Marvel, Star Wars celebrity that's living, I think this guy would definitely be one.
Collaborative family event, that one. Motivated by a little bit of brotherly rivalry.
Do you know that whose voice that is?
I do.
Chris Hemsworth.
Thor.
He just seems to me like just a fun-loving dude that would just, you could throw down with a beer, talk about stuff. You could talk about anything under the sun, and he would be so down for the hang. And I think a lot of his character, especially after Thor Ragnarok, his personality kind of comes out in the role of Thor. Now he's not just, I'm the mighty Thor, I'm from Asgard, give me another. It's all so formal. So I think he's really with Taika Waititi made the role his own. Every interview I've ever seen of him, he's just super gracious, very nice to the fans, and definitely somebody I wish we would have the opportunity at some point. Probably we could, do a some type of red carpet event when things get better. We get invited to these red carpet events, and we can only, we usually send someone else to cover these for
That's
us,
true.
because we live in Nashville and we can't go all the way to LA or New York or whatever.
Not inexpensively.
I mean,
it costs just as much to fly to Japan as it does to fly to California.
This is true. So here's a couple quotes from Chris Hemsworth.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Chris Hemsworth, and I'm going undercover on the internet. It's actually me.
Have you seen this before?
No, I have not.
Okay.
It's not. It's Liam Hemsworth, guys. Gotcha. Horror. Would Chris Evans or Chris Hemsworth win in an arm wrestle? I have won an arm wrestle. He is actually only about 4'3", I think. So they have to enlarge one screen. So that's an easy one. How did you get cast as Thor? I had a very early audition. Early on in the process, didn't go very well. My little brother had an audition. He almost got the part, then didn't because they said he's a bit young. So when the casting back up, I was really angry that he almost got the part. So I came back in with a newfound fury and actually had to call him and say, how was the audition? Give me some tips. And he did, thankfully, and I got the part. So it was a very collaborative family event, that one. Motivated by a little bit of brotherly rivalry. What type of weight training did Chris Hemsworth do to prepare for Thor?
It's interesting
Just
stuff.
Lots and lots of heavy weights, isolated muscle grouping, powerlifting sort of stuff. My training now is a little more functional, and I'm not so worried about getting massive as that, kind of just staying fit and functional, I guess. How heavy is Chris Hemsworth prop hammer? It's extremely heavy, about 436 pounds.
I mean, this is the kind of guy you'd want to hang out and have a few beers with, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Especially if he's hanging out with Dr. Strange, who can just automatically refill the beer.
Another. Absolutely. That sounds awesome.
I like that idea.
But of course, this is Chris Hemsworth, not Thor, and it would be Benedict Cumberbatch and not Doctor Strange in real life, of course. Unless, of course, they really do have superpowers, which would be pretty amazing. Okay. So it's my turn, yes?
No, that was you. You said
that was
Chris
me?
Hemsworth.
Okay, Chris Hemsworth. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's been a long day.
So
what could I say?
Chris Hemsworth was almost on my list.
Yes.
But I was like, I don't know. You just think he's just like too pretty. you know, and everybody would expect me to put that. And I was like, I want somebody who's even more down to earth than Chris Hemsworth. And I'm thinking, you know, Marvel, which Marvel actor would I want? Because I definitely want somebody from Marvel. And I had to go with Chris Pratt. Because who seems like the most average person
What?
in the entire this is no this is not that is a compliment. I'm not saying that like bad. He's not Hollywood at all.
Right.
He is very outspoken on his religious beliefs, which is not something you see in celebrities. For the most part, they keep that to themselves because nobody wants to be judged. But he's hilarious and he can sing. And I just think he would be, you know, you see him in these interviews and he's so good at interacting with people and he's very humble. There's nothing about him, celebrity, that if you were at Kroger and you walked past him and you went and you said hi, that he'd be like, hey, what's up? You know, like he'd be the guy next door. So that is why I went with Chris Pratt.
Frog's breath soup.
Frog's breast soup? Oh, frog's breath? I'm not sure what's worse. No, thank you.
I thought you liked frog's breath. How about the Eat Me cookie from Alice in Wonderland?
No way.
Not-
Don't mess with anything they eat that's on some sort of weird rabbit hole trip.
Trippy things.
Yeah, stay away from
Okay.
that, children.
Broccoli pizza.
Oh, I try that out. Yeah, that sounds good.
What the heck is broccoli on pizza? That's it. I'm done. Ratatouille.
Oh, yeah, I'd go for some ratatouille.
Looks good, right?
It does look good.
Talk about food.
And spinach
Close to your
puffs.
heart.
Oh, yeah, I take that down.
Watch it. They're still hot.
Like Copita.
The gray stuff.
This is great.
Yes.
The gray stuff? No way.
It's delicious.
What do you mean?
He says it. Lumiere says it in the song.
Yeah, you can't trust him.
Don't believe him. Ask the
You
dishes.
can't just trust they'd call it something better than the gray stuff. It was
It's
actually
deceiving. Can't judge a book by its cover.
You can judge its name if its name is the gray stuff.
Right?
See?
Okay,
See?
yeah. Chris Pratt. That's a good one. He's another guy. Super accessible, really great to his fans. Nicole says in the chat, he's getting ready to have a baby. Well, not him.
I was gonna
Not
say.
him.
Ooh,
He's
is
not
that
having a
something I
baby.
didn't know about him?
He's not
Okay.
having a baby. Not that I know of. I mean, his wife. Now
I didn't
wife.
know he got remarried.
I think he got remarried. Yes, he.
Well,
Anyway,
I knew he
so-
him and I have her, like, I can see her in my head and I can't think of her name.
Anna
Anna Faris. Yes. That they got divorced. I love her though.
Love Anna Faris too. She's great. But anyway, Chris Pratt. Good catch. Good.
They
call.
had not one of those non-Hollywood type divorces where it was like, yeah, it's just not working out anymore. We're friends, but okay.
Yes. Yeah. Anna Faris. Awesome. How about this? We had a lot of people comment about Imagineers we want to hang out with. This is an Imagineer that you and I had hung out with several times before and had an amazing time with. Wouldn't you say?
I don't know who it is, so I'm going to.
It's Bob Gurr.
Yes.
It's Bob Gurr. And awesome guy. Not only, I mean, it's like your cool older uncle, great uncle hanging out, super nice and willing to talk to anybody about stuff, talking about his experience with working for Walt and designing monorails and different attractions and blah, blah, blah. And, yeah, I mean, he's just great. So here's a little bit of a clip of the legendary Disney legend Bob Gurr talking about the monorail.
It turned out to be a very classic thing, and it's used all over the parks. But this is the largest copy of it in the world, and I was delighted to come here a few years ago and autograph this panel. So this is one of the greatest delights to know that my kitchen table, in about 10 minutes, I had this idea for what the train could look like. I sketched it out, went into the office, made this rendering very quickly, and
Bob Gurr talking about Top of the World Lounge and the monorail glass mural that's there of the monorail, right? You have something you want to say about that?
Yes, because he has autographed that, and somebody has removed that piece, and then he autographed it again, and it got moved again.
I don't think they removed it. I think they cleaned it off.
Oh, is that what it was?
I think they cleaned it off. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
I mean,
we had a cast member tell us about that.
Yeah, I think what had happened is he wrote it in Sharpie and they had scraped the signature off. Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
You know?
Became an icon all over the Disney parks, and especially an icon because remember, Walt Disney World did not have this monorail. This monorail was the original 1959 Disneyland monorail. But
Bob Gurr is the best. And Lindsay says, love the monorail. I couldn't agree more. Bob Gurr, Disney legend. We hung out with him at
it was his 80th birthday.
His 80th birthday, yes. We sang happy birthday to Bob. But that wasn't the only time we hung out with him. We hung out with him twice.
Yes.
And both times was at Epcot. And that was pretty awesome. And such a cool guy, Bob Gurr. All right, Kristen, what number are we on now with you?
My fourth one.
Your number 4. Okay, who's your number 4?
As we all know, I love food. I mean, dining at Disney, cooking with Mickey. I mean, you can't get any more Disney food than that. So, I have to go with one of my favorite Disney food people, and that would be Pam Brandon. I remember meeting Pam, gosh, it's been maybe 10 years now when I met her.
Yeah.
But I've had her on Dining at Disney, talking about the food in Shanghai. I mean, every time I see her and I always start talking. I mean, she's great. I absolutely love her. She's so nice and she's a fun person to talk to. And I'm like, between the fact she likes food like myself, she can cook, she can write because Edible Orlando is her baby. And that I like her as a person, not just Disney related, but I really like her, that I would want her at the party.
That's awesome.
And we know each other. So, I mean, it's not one of those things where, she doesn't walk up and say hi to me. She does. She knows who I am. It's not
Well, you covered so many Disney food events over the past decade, and she has been nothing but awesome to work with. She has written all those those cooking with Mickey, guides.
All the Disney
cookbooks.
She is a co-author on.
Yes. Yeah, she's great. Speaking of Pam, here's a little excerpt from your episode 31 of Dining at Disney, where you're talking to Pam herself.
And so logically, to write about food on the blog, where so many of our guests, also the media for information, it was so since the beginning.
And there's so many great articles on there. I mean, I'm always going to the blog and reading your stuff.
Good.
I mean, it gets me excited. Like Tiffin's was getting ready, being built and everything. Getting to read all the details, which made it even more fun. I was there the first day it opened and had so much fun walking around and looking at the details that I had.
Good.
And so I love the fact that in there's some of those where they've got the actual photographs of people in different countries, and you see Joe Rohde in some of them.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a really cool thing, and especially for those diehard Disney fans that know who he is, and get to see those little things like, hey.
Yeah. It is fun, and that's the greatest thing about Disney is the storytelling aspect. And Joe is the greatest storyteller that I've ever met. So it is fun, and he's very, very cordial and loves talking with guests too. So that's fun.
That's awesome. And Joe Rody would have a great one too.
I had thought about that.
It came up. Jeff Davis in the chat, host of DW60, says, "You'd sure eat well in quarantine." No doubt. Provided you can get the food. So before we go to your number one, I think I've got one more.
It's not my number one. It's just my last one.
Or your last one. This is not in order. So here is something. So I was thinking, who else is cool that we could probably, sing and have fun and laugh and stuff. And it's actually someone that you had said on a previous podcast that you would want to play you in the story of your life.
I know who it is.
You know who that is?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Hi, Disney fans. I'm Kristen Bell. You might recognize me from Frozen or Zootopia, and beginning November 12th from Encore on Disney Plus. Through Encore,
she's just awesome, right?
Love her.
Yes,
and she spells her name right.
I got to mentor a reunited high school musical theater cast, and I had so much fun. I thought that I would pass on a little advice to some other thespians.
This is a great clip.
Recognize.
Flash from Zootopia.
My man, comedic timing is everything.
Winnie the Pooh.
Pooh. It's 2019. I love you, but you gotta wear pants. Them's the rules now. Donald, diction, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather.
Ariel,
read the contract. Okay, there's a lot in that fine print. Protect yourself. Stitch, I truly believed your performance as Dog. I mean, no notes.
Don't
White
spit on the
Rabbit.
mic.
Early is on time is late. Don't be late. Auditions are very important things. My best advice that I could give to any performer or any person for that matter is just be yourself and have fun. You can watch our show Encore.
Isn't that great?
Yes.
Lindsay says Bubba would make sure you would have the food since he does the Instacart.
Yes.
Oh, since he does the Instacart.
Yes. He drives for Instacart.
Well, he does now.
Yes.
Yeah. Right now. But Kristen Bell would be a lot of fun. Her husband would be just equally as funny because Dax is just hilarious in and of himself. So you've got one more. I've got one more. The topic of this show today is our top five Disney celebrities that are currently living who you'd want to hang out in quarantine. And we're going to talk about some of your comments after the break.
Hey everybody, this is Chris Edgerly, voice of Timothy the Mouse and Scuttle. Made want to say hello.
Hey. We're back here. Don't forget, you can check us out on Sport Radio. We are on demand, which is great at srsounds.com. And you can also check us out there on anchor.fm/Disney List. And you can also do our social media there. The best place, facebook.com/the Disney List. We asked this question and you responded. And we're going to read, before we go into our number 5 person that we want quarantine with, which is a Disney celebrity that is alive, that is living. Let us talk about what you all posted. And Kristen, maybe you can discuss some of the. I'm trying to scroll down and see the elements that we have here.
Okay.
And before we do that, actually, I wanted also to give a shout out to Robin listening to the show, because Robin, our brand new Disney List, the Disney List logo, which looks amazing. So thank you, Robin. Big props to that. So
he is the man.
Are some comments, Kristen, that we have that we're trying to load up on the old Instagram, on the old Facebook. Go ahead, Chris. Can you read any of these?
Yes, I can.
Okay, go ahead.
So Lindsay says Bob Iger, he would be cool to talk to about all things Disney. Baby Groot, just so I could hug him and love on him. So that does mean, I guess, Vin Diesel would be there. The Haunted Mansion team. So we have
These are a lot of people, Lindsay. You can just get one person. You had to get multiple teams involved here.
It's his Raleigh Crump, Yale Graces, Mark Davis, Claude Coates. Haunted Mansion has an awesome story and is my favorite ride.
Yes.
And she's bringing somebody back from the dead, which I'm a little scared that she's going to have because it's going to be Walt Disney himself because that's where it all started. And this is the sweetest. This is the sweetest one. And these are alive.
Okay.
That would be you and Bubba. Because we are her two favorite Disney podcasts ever.
Oh, thank you, Lindsay. You're the best. Checks in the mail. But I mean, honestly, though, Walt Disney, the rumor is Walt Disney had himself cryogenically frozen and is kept under the castle.
Yeah, that's not true.
Maybe he's still alive.
Maybe he's like Elvis, right? Where people say he's not really dead.
Maybe.
Walt would be really going without it.
This is true. Lindsay likes logo too. Thanks, Lindsay. Okay, Eric Allen has some comments here.
The first on his, I so knew those were going to be on.
I knew that too.
Okay, you can read them now.
Okay, this comment, he says, it's totally unfair to have weeded down the list to just 5. Just saying. Hashtag just saying. But here's mine. Jim Cummings, Bill Farmer, Rob Paulson, and Catherine Beaumont.
So, Rob Paulson, Eric and I went to one of his little talk that he did at a Comic-Con thing, and that was awesome.
Yeah. Just wants to have every Disney voice actor just hanging out. I mean, it's really what it is. Catherine Beaumont was the actress that did the Wonderland. So I mean, he's got a flair for the class. That's Eric. And Peter Cullen, the voice of Optimus Prime. How can you not like that? Also, the voice of I mean, right? Did I get that Winnie the Pooh? No. It's another. I'm having a brain fart. But see, now I'm losing my Disney cred. He is right. Yes. Eeyore.
I know it's Eeyore. I know it's in there, but I was like, I almost took her, but that's all right.
All right. Amy Huffmaster says, "Do you want to read Amy's?"
Sure.
Okay.
She says Bradley Cooper, Kristen Bell, Paul Rudd. That's a good one. I didn't think of that.
Paul Rudd, yeah.
Justin Timberlake. And stuff. Now that's 2 former. I see. Almost had former people.
That's right.
On my list.
That's true. Oh, and
that's what we should do. We should do a former Disney people.
Well, no, I mean once you were Disney, you're always, even Demi Lovato. Let that sink in.
Did almost make the list.
That's right.
If I had 10, she'd be in there.
Jeff Adams says the Dapper Dans and Dyke. Yeah. Dick Van Dyke, Dapper Dans. I'm down with that list. They will be entertained for sure. And Dick Van Dyke is once again one of America's great, grandfathers. So he's just super nice.
Okay, so Pamela said, yeah, you changed it so I can't read anymore.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Back here. Go ahead.
She says, love him. Now, see, I did not put Johnny Depp on my list. I had thought about it, but
I know Depp is not on my list. I'll tell you.
But he would drink all the rum and he would drink all wine.
Which is true.
And I drinks really expensive wine, but I don't think chair. So I'm like, no, he can't come to party.
Johnny Depp would be cool because he and both guitar players, and we would probably sit around and play Tom Petty songs all day. It's probably what we do. Just put it there.
Okay, so we have Bob Iger.
No. Did you go? Oh, you on with Pamela? Yes, go ahead.
She wants to hear about his story, how he got where he is today. Jody Benson, because The Little Mermaid, she loves The Little Mermaid, and that's her daughter's favorite.
Yes.
Tom Hiddleston, because she wants to introduce her daughter to him. Pale hair, because Belle is her favorite, which Belle is my favorite.
You have a lot in common with Pamela.
That's true. She has a lot of people that I would like too.
Yeah, it's not a very good list. You guys are knocking it out of the park with these answers.
Four hers almost are on my list.
All right. Mr. Danny Edwards, listener of the show, says Bob Gurr. If Bob, he's still as vibrant and exciting as he was in the days when he created the attractions for both Disneyland and Walt Disney. True. Bob Iger, a creative genius of not only maintaining the luster of Disney, also expanding the brand so it's more than just a theme park. Very good. Richard Sherman, very nice. Nicely done, Mr. Danny Edwards. One half of the Sherman brothers created so much music for Disney to become part of our lives so that when we hear their creation, we can't help but join and sing. Yes, 100%. Joe Rohde, one of the synonymous Disney Imagineers in this generation, he has become the face of creativity of the animal kingdom and building something from imagination to reality. Very nice. Very nice. And Alice Davis not only worked on World Attractions. I got to go back here because I went back. Did I hit that back button?
No. There you go.
Okay. Let's go back. Yeah, I got to scroll. What is it?
I'm laughing because this is what drives me. You are a clicker. You like to click around and you click yourself and myself out of what we're looking at.
I can't help it. I know I have like 3 monitors in front of me. I can't help myself. So I got to get back.
It's a clicking addiction that you have is really what it is.
I need a fidget spinner. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, maybe that's it. There you go.
Okay. Okay, so we're back. Alice Davis not only worked with Walt Disney, she had Mary Blair and so many creations for Walt Disney World. Very nice. Nicely done. Nicely done. I'm down with that. Let's see. And we already talked about these. All right. So there may be some more shares here. Let's see who commented on this. Let's see. Let's read some comments, shall we? No comments here. Let's see. This is live, folks. This is what we do. Live. Gail says, go ahead.
At the end, we want to make a honorable mention.
Okay.
Okay.
Gail says, responding, Bobby Benson, Jody Benson, Paige O'Hara, Angela Lansbury, Dick Mike, and Julie Andrews. She's just going to have...
Did you say then it's Robbie?
I know, it's Robbie Benson.
Okay.
But, yes, basically, you're going to have all the Disney voice actor favorite movies there. And, of course, Gail must love Mary Poppins with Dick Van Dyke and Julie Andrews together.
And Gail apparently also likes Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast, yes. So Karen, reply to you, Karen McLeod Hatcher, great show. And she responded on Dining at Disney. So do you want to say something about that?
Yes, she says Billy Crystal to talk baseball in New York City food.
I like that.
Craig Ferguson. Now ABC, right there we go.
All right.
Because Craig Ferguson make her laugh. Now I didn't think about Craig Ferguson, but I love Ferguson.
Well, Craig Ferguson was also a voice actor for Disney because his talk show is on CBS.
Oh, I was.
Oh, right? Yes.
I don't think he has his talk show anymore, does he?
No, not anymore.
Okay.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong.
Billy funnily laughing.
It's funny because she is Carol McLeod Hatcher, so you know she's going for all of her fellow countrymen, right?
Thompson to laugh and talk books and Harry Potter.
Yes,
because I would think that's not HP as in the
Hewlett Packard.
Yeah.
Okay.
David Tennant to talk about everything.
Yes.
And she got to meet him at GalaxyCon.
Nice. Very nice. Those are great answers. Great answers. We also have we've got a couple comments here on the Source of Radio Disney. So let's take a look at some comments, shall we? Sha Benson says Kim Irvine because she's Leota's daughter. Yes. Because he's Joe Rohde. Bob Iger, who want to listen to him talk about the business? Tom Hanks, because obviously he's everyone's favorite boy.
Okay, so somebody I didn't think about putting on my list.
Yes.
That look for entertaining. And Tom Hanks, her things reminds me of this.
Oh, okay.
What did I not think about putting Tim Allen, who is one of my favorites of all time?
Oh.
How did I not think Tim Allen?
How do we not think about that?
Because there's I could talk to Tim Allen about.
Oh, there's so many.
More than just anything related to or home improvement and that stuff. I mean, he would be so interesting to talk.
He's awesome. No, Tim Allen.
He loves sport.
Galaxy Quest. And Home Improvement, one of our favorite shows.
I know.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's another bingeable show for sure. And Alicia Benson also says, Brett Iwan, the voice of Mickey Mouse. That would make it more fun for sure. And Brett, we can say we interviewed Brett. We ran into him several times. Super great dude. Jennifer Toto Dinsmore, what up? What up, girl? What up, Pirate Princess? Also, she says, wow, incredibly tough in no particular order. Joe Rohde, Andreas Deha, one of the animators, of course, Disney legend. Bob Gurr. Tony Baxter.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, another good one. Robert Downey Jr. I don't know if it's this qualification, so living is I Love You 3000.
You know, I had thought about Robert Downey Jr. because I liked him like long back in his troubled days.
Yes.
Thinking, you know, he just is like too much. I'm trying to think. I don't want to say egocentric because that's not really quite the phrase I'm looking for. But he's too much for me. It would be exhausting. After a while, I'd get tired of it.
I don't think so because he does that. He does that in front of people. But when you actually
talking about weeks, possibly months of spending with somebody, that's long for me to spend with Robert Downey Jr.
Oh man.
I had to think about this. Long amount of time.
Periods,
Who could I handle?
It's almost if you were to cast yourself in Big Brother, who would you be with? Because that's what you'd be doing. You'd be hanging out in the house with all these people, going crazy, or what? It's celebrity club or whatever.
Sugar Ray, Mark McGrath. He was on the celebrity Big Brother.
Celebrity Big Brother. That's what they're gonna do.
I'd ask him why he got plastic surgery.
Oh my. I'll text him that. Leanne Smith says Richard Sherman, Tiger, Haley Mills. That's a good one. Mm-hmm. Haley Mills. Good morning, Miss Bliss. Julie Andrews and Johnny Depp. I would love to talk about Disney and their work with the company. Very nice. Nicely done. Josh Morris, Johnny Depp, because he's awesome. Tony Baxter, Disney legend. Bob Iger, great guy. Michael Eisner, Mandy Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Our girl.
Yeah, because she's on the Sus.
Yes. And Sylvia, you want to read hers?
Yes. Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
The Rock. That was an awesome answer, Sylvia. I want to hang out with The Rock too.
Yeah, I had thought about Bautista.
Oh, but David Bautista.
David Bautista.
Be hilarious. Also, fellow Filipino. What up?
Julie Andrews.
Yes.
Jim Cummings. Paulson in any of the past Disney legends. I would like to meet all people so I can learn how they got into Disney, their different voices that they played.
Awesome. Kate Blakesley says, Joe, have you seen his Instagram? I learn all sorts of weird things. I'd never get sick of talking about in the art.
I probably should follow him on Instagram.
Yes.
I hadn't thought of that.
You should. Also, Bob Gurr, Raleigh Crump, he's a hoot. Julie Andrews, my queen. Leslie Iworks. These are awesome, y'all. I love these answers. So let's see. We talked about Jennifer's. Yep. And did we have Sasha's yet?
No.
Okay, Sasha Jones says, Joe Rohde, I don't need to explain myself here, but there's too much that he's familiar that I'd be cool to hear some of it. Tony Baxter, I have a great appreciation for all projects, but mainly to tell him how much Disneyland Paris takes up my childhood memories. That's awesome. Mainly for Disneyland Paris again. Their Space Mountain is exhilarating, and their Discovery Island at Discoveryland is so amazing that when I went to Walt Disney World, I was disappointed with Tomorrowland.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd love to hear more about Discoveryland and the guy who designed it. By sheer amount of ride vehicles this guy's designed, and he was around in the early days of Imagineering, I can imagine a lot of stories.
Yes, he does.
And her last one is Richard Sherman. He could sing Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow and cheer us all up. I agree. That's an awesome list. So those are just some of the replies I have. We're getting ready to hit number 1. We have some folks in the chat. We're going to talk about comments here in just a sec.
This is Dave Filoni, Supervising Director of Star Wars: The Clone Wars for Sorcerer Radio.
Sounds.com.
Back on the show, the Disney list with Kristen and Aljon. Who would you want to be quarantined with during this time? You've got 5 celebrities that are living from Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars, the theme parks, from ABC on. They just have to be living. We just read a lot of comments from our Facebook page, and we're going to launch into our last one for Kristen and myself. We do have some comments here in that. John W. Tay Tao Hales. If we're going to resurrect someone, I vote for Knots. That's awesome. We love Don Knotts. Eric Allen joined us at the Geek Media Expo. That's where we were. That's where we ended up talking to Rob Paulson.
That was
great.
November of 2013.
Oh my gosh,
it's been that long.
It's been so long. Okay, so Jeff Davis had interesting. The host of DW60, Jeff Davis had said that Carrie Underwood is not a Disney person, but yet isn't she? Hasn't she been affiliated with Disney in some way?
How?
Soundtracks.
I'll look. You read.
Soundtracks. I think she did a soundtrack. So Jeff had said in the chat, Ginger Z, Harrison Ford, Tom Holland, Joe Rohde, and Bob Iger. Great list. Lindsay says technical list is in under 10 people. LOL. And our buddy Disney pal, supporter of the show, John Wolford, says, glad to see you back in the air. Good to see you, friend. Yes.
Ever After. From Enchanted. She did that
the soundtrack
for the music.
You see, Jeff, there you go. Loosely related to Disney. And there you go. Carrie Underwood. You could put in your list. You could do it. Actually, she's awesome to hang out with. I think she'd be great. You, Kristen.
Who knew?
Lindsay said, well, we used to play Ever After. You
never realized that was Carrie Underwood.
Yes. Lindsay is saying, Kristen, is that a Ratatouille shirt?
Yes, it is. It's from Wine. Let's see, 2018.
All right.
Yes, Ratatouille.
We're going to wrap up the show. We've got an announcement about WDW After Dark. After Kristen, what is your last person on the list you want to be with?
Okay, so this one I don't think will surprise anybody. This was on my list in the beginning and went off the list because I kept looking at this, trying to think of different things that I need in quarantine other than food. And I want somebody who's funny and entertaining, but music. I like music is something that's very important to me. And then I realized,
What?
I keep him on my list. I can keep Tom Hiddleston because
Okay, wow.
not only is he pretty to look at, so I would never give looking at him during quarantine.
What?
He has a great voice. He does sing,
He does
which
sing.
we heard at the D23 Expo.
We did.
He can dance.
He's entertaining.
He speaks 5 languages.
What?
Okay.
What?
You can't be stupid.
No, he's a smart dude.
He graduated from university, so he is
He's
definitely
super
smart.
Smart.
And back to the whole music thing. Not only can he sing, but these are some of the instruments that play.
Yes.
The guitar.
Yeah.
Violin.
Whoa.
Lute.
Oh, really?
Really?
He's a stringed instruments dude.
Piano.
Huh?
The drums.
Yep.
And the trumpet.
Wow. He's super talented. I knew that he played guitar, but I didn't know he played everything else. That's awesome.
No, you know what's kind of funny is he has been used as a voice for feminism too.
Is that right?
Yes. He refers to himself as a feminist. He thinks he strongly believes that women are equal to men. And I thought that was pretty cool.
Well, yes.
But I'm like,
well, just because,
smart, talented. I've
wait,
got it right there.
Was that article saying feminist is in his words or
no, in his words?
It's
no.
his words.
Yes,
Okay.
There is a shirt that he is wearing that he did for Elle magazine
Mm-hmm.
and it was about feminism, and that's where it was. One of the quotes is he describes himself as a feminist.
100% rights, men, women equal. We know this. If you're listening to the show, chances are you believe it too. Not getting political on it, but yes. And by the way, funny dude. So here's Tom Hiddleston talking about some Avengers action.
Here we go.
About Marvel. Okay. Would you rather battle Thanos or Baby Groot?
Thanos, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, Baby Groot's, he's going to bring everything.
Would you rather go to dinner with Hulk or Bruce Banner?
Bruce Banner? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Hulk's just terrible. Manners. Yeah, just throwing his food.
He'd also beat the crap out of him, as he did. Don't you wish you had a Snickers bar?
Everybody, imagine?
Yeah, I can't imagine.
It wouldn't be a roll left.
It really wouldn't be.
Yeah, so Daily Banner, yeah.
Okay.
It's just a softer, gentler evening out, I would say.
Okay. Would you rather go on a road trip with Loki, your character, or Thor?
When you go on a road trip with Loki, you know it's going to be interesting. It may not be long. He may just abandon you by the side of the road. Just to be like, I'm having this vehicle, spaceship, or motorcycle. Whichever travel you fancy taking.
Isn't that funny?
Yes.
Oh, Tom Hiddleston. Funny dude.
That, and he doesn't have an annoying British accent.
No.
Because I'm very particular about what British accent I can handle. And his I totally does not annoy me at all.
Awesome. Here we go. My last one. There were people conspicuously missing from my list. One of them being a musician, but I happen to have one here that I believe everyone will recognize in short order, and he is a Disney legend.
On all of the 6 films, I'm just happy to be continuing to be part of the whole fun of doing it.
Who is it?
Of course,
Who is it? Guess who it is in the chat. Guess who it is.
I'm drawing a blank on his name. Give me a minute.
The story is still unknown to me. But I can't imagine that there will not be some references to the existing stories that we know. Who
is it, Kristen?
It's John Williams. I kept thinking his name was James, and then I was like, that's not right. It's John Williams.
Probably the most prolific composer in pop culture. And I say that as in pop culture, like prolific, especially of this and the generation before me.
Necessitated make appropriate the use of some earlier themes, which actually for me has been fun of doing film after film, because in each case I've been able to use the earlier material and develop new material that exists with it and hopefully feel like a part of the fabric of the film. Since I don't know the story, I have to tell you and confess to you that I would always prefer not to read scripts and not to hear stories and look at cue cards on, and wait for the moment of discovery the audience of the film itself. So I'm as surprised as they are and I know where to put the prize button, having not been prepared for the script.
Isn't that just amazing? God. John Williams is amazing. The soundtrack of my childhood, the soundtrack of my life, John Williams for sure.
A composer almost made list.
Okay. Oh, hold on. I gotta know. I think I know who it is. That would be Danny Elfman.
Yes,
Danny Elfman. You
almost
see,
made my list.
I know you. Thank you guys so much.
Honorable mention.
Honorable mentions. Go ahead.
Okay, so speaking of Danny Elfman, this person is good friends with Danny Elfman, just like Johnny Depp is. And that would be Tim Burton. It was like this. Tim Burton, I was like, man, why can't I have 6? Because Tim Burton's so weird.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
I love his weirdness.
That's all. I love it.
I have loved the stuff he has done since I was a kid. So,
that's
would your honorable mention be somebody that was on your list or almost made your list?
I think Joe Rohde. I would have done like Joe Rohde, probably Scarlett Johansson because she's also a writer, and we could hang out and jam and play music, which would be great. Johnny, obviously, super cool. Richard Sherman. I mean, the list could go on and on.
I make Allen. A list of 15 easy.
Oh, we could, yes, absolutely. Who would you want to quarantine with if you didn't participate in the live show? Let us know. Just put comments in the show. Leave us a voicemail on anchor.fm/WDW Disney list. I just have it. But leave us your comment and we'll read them on next week's show. This is awesome. What a great show, Kristen. Where can people check you out interwebs?
At Dining at Disney.com, Dining at Disney on all social media. So check that out. And there is a new Dining at Disney podcast where Bubba and I talk about what we do with $1,200 to spend on anything Disney related and how we would spend that. And we read our listener answers as well. So this week, I don't know what we're talking about. We haven't decided that yet.
Jeff Davis says, okay, Bob Iger's gone. Carrie's back on. Congratulations, Jeff. You did it. Before I say where you can find me, you can find me on Instagram, Aljon.
What I want to know. I want to know what Nicole has to say about Bob Iger being removed because he wants Carrie Underwood. How does she feel about Carrie Underwood being there? Jeff's forever long celebrity crush.
Oh man, that is hilarious. Well, she knows. She knew beforehand. She knew that. Lindsay says in the chat, according to the government, you can get 10
people.
10 people in your group. Right. This is true. Social distancing, y'all. Follow me on Instagram at Aljon Go. And that's it, man.
So if you
this show has run
10,
so long.
I know.
We had to restart the show again. And yeah, go ahead.
Thought that if you're a family of bigger than 10, like the Duggars, do you have to separate into 2 homes?
Look, we're not talking about the Duggars. Where is this show gone? You see, this is what happens when we run long, y'all. We ran super long.
Hungry, it's gone to my brain.
I'm starving. Jeff David says she's okay with it. She understands my obsession. Jeff, some things never change. Just like what I meant to talk about in the show, WDW After Dark. It was a show, podcast way ahead of its time. Jeff David, Eric Allen, myself, Kristen, even Yeti Chaser Hirsch on the show, during its early time. But we're going to reunite next week, next Sunday, in a live show. And we're going to reunite, all 4 of us, the original WDW crew. What do you think about that, Kristen?
It's going to be interesting.
It's going to be right here on the Disney list. We're going to talk about what is our topic. What did Eric say Eric was?
I don't know.
It was. Well, we're gonna talk about.
Have a topic.
We're gonna have a topic, and we're going to talk about it. I got to call it up in my text because I had it and then I shut it down. I don't.
That totally makes. We're going to have a topic and we're going to talk about it. It makes me think of something. There's like something Disney related that makes me think of.
No. It was good. It was good. The boys thought it was tonight. It's actually next week.
I thought it was tonight in Jefton.
Oh. So the comment is the top 5 things to do when the park reopens. All right, is it? Yeah, yep. Sorry, the 5 places to spend quarantine at WDW. That's it. Thank you, Eric.
Ooh.
That's it.
So these can be restaurants, attractions,
whatnot. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Eric in the chat. 5 places to spend quarantine at Walt World. We're going to talk about the reuniting WDW After Dark cast. It's going to be awesome. Dare miss it on the Disney next week. I'm Aljon.
And I'm Kristen.
And we'll see you real soon.
This podcast is not affiliated with the Walt Disney or its holdings and is intended for entertainment purposes.
I love it. You guys are awesome. Thank you for bearing with us with all the technical stuff. And stay home, be safe and healthy and happy. And we'll see you next week. All right?
Drink
Bye.
Corona.
Drink
Don't
Corona.
spread it.